internet demons ate my baby.
Hey Internet, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm having internet issues, and I don't know how much of this game is actually going to get to be played live tonight. So we've issued this PSA before. If it gets bad enough and we can't continue streaming, we will put a message in the chat. We will stop the stream. We will continue to play offline, continue recording, and have the VOD up soon. There will be big patches where everything is perfectly normal, and then for some reason we'll start talking over each other because I'm delayed and they can't hear me, or they're all just really rude to me. I haven't figured out which. So
that's the secret surprise of our streams.
Yeah. So before we get going here, a couple of quick announcements, and I'll make them super quick because we're already nearly 20 minutes behind. First and foremost, look up above Tomiko and M. You will see our domain pops. Those are something that only you, the audience, can contribute to the players simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs, cheering 500 bits, doing the tip with Ko-fi, any of those kind of things. You can actually do exclamation point support, which will also show you how to get to the Ko-fi and all that stuff. Anyway, it earns domain pops. The players can use those for things where they can add them as +1s to important rolls, or they can spend 5 of them to make themselves or somebody else roll on the D100 mystery grab bag roll table where only good things happen. That is not true.
I hate you.
Showing how that works. Actually, Carrie, if you want to know about how good the table is, ask Carrie. Carrie will sing its praises from the rooftops.
I accidentally almost killed a friend. It happens to the best of us. Whatever.
You guys are flush with these domain pops. You should start rolling on a random table.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's how those work. The next thing, I'm going to jump right to this. We've got something big coming up on Saturday. That's in just 2 days. Literally in just under 48 hours. Where's my, I have an image for this. I have a new image for this.
Ooh.
On Saturday, well here, I'll just read the copy. Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleonora, The Light of the Child, a D&D charity one-shot benefiting the Pavlov Foundation. Join us on Saturday, September 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, as Todd Stashwick leads Matthew Lillard, Mika Burton, Tawny Newsom, Jack Quaid, and 2 donor guests on an amazing adventure. You can donate now at the link that is in there. We've made the fundraiser live. Our 2 donors are Chuck Lazaro and Michael Steinbach, pictured on the ends in this graphic. Thanks to their generous donations, we are starting this fundraiser at $8,250 raised. There are going to be giveaways. There are some of the giveaways. There'll be some Pavlov merch and some posters and things like that. But we're also doing donation incentives. So if you donate X amount of dollars, you can there'll be 1 of an item or 2 of an item. There's things like autographed Mystic Libation books from Todd, autographed set of tiki glasses that Todd sells on the Nerd Circus, custom dice boxes, very similar to, but not exactly the same as this one that Todd sent to me, and that I'll be using in the game. Has a nice little roll tower with it that says, "May you always roll with advantage." There are going to be some custom, a couple of these, and I think 1 or 2 custom Legends of Eleonora boxes that will be autographed by the cast, and that will be a higher dollar value item. If you stick around, it is a known fact when Todd runs his games that usually in that third act, near that last hour of the stream, he puts a thing out that says, the first person to donate $2,000, I will run a private D&D game for you and 5 friends. I've gotten to participate in those before as a guest, and it's an amazing thing to be a part of, to get to spend 3-4 hours playing D&D with Todd, who is an old school D&D player and DM, but who embraces the new style and new system. I think he's a perfect balance of old school and new school. So this is going to be a great time. Please do join us for that. Several of us will be in the chat during that, moderating and cheering people on. We're setting a lofty goal, but we think we can do it. Our goal for this one game, 3 hours, is $30,000. But look, we haven't even started yet. We've already raised over $8,000. So let's see what we can do with that. We hope to see you there. Last thing I want to say before we get started, because I do mention this before every single game, just a quick reminder that we have safety tools in place as players. We are keeping an eye out for one another. Sometimes situations, language, maybe certain depictions of certain dynamic relationships or things coming from people's backstories or whatever. They can be a little intense. Know that we are keeping ourselves safe, but we also want you to know, in case that's not your bag. If that's not something you want to hear or see, please go somewhere else. Come back on Saturday for the charity game. That'll be PG-13. And then the last thing is just a reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. You can be struggling for any number of reasons. And we've all been there. I've been there. But we want to make sure that you never have to struggle alone. You can come here to our chat at any time. Type !help in the chat, as Jeremy has done. There'll be a couple URLs that pop up, one of which is findahelpline.com, or you can check out takethis.org's growing list of resources. We encourage you to bookmark those sites, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise, Michigan. And of course, as part of my technical difficulties, my music went a little wonky, so somebody let me know if that comes out a little too loud, because I can't see my number.
I think it's perfect.
Excellent, thank you. Long story short, things came to a head very recently, with Oak nearly dying of a sudden fungal infection. It was moss literally growing on his arm and seemed to be growing at an exponential rate. Knew that he was going to potentially die within the next 24 or so hours. Not so coincidentally, at that same time, one of the scientists from the Nexus lab showed up, also feeling very ill. And you all learned that it was Dr. K, also known as Dr. Orson Axel Kubrick. None other than our own Oak, but as a 42-year-old man who had somehow at some point been stuck in the past for over 30 years. He showed you a secret entrance after telling you that he was one of the members of the Seven. You took a Nexus or ley line traversal to his secret laboratory, where you met the person you have only heard in your minds of Algernon, a mysterious man wearing an all-white suit with red round sunglasses, who, this is the kind of thing I love about games like this, basically kidnapped Dr. K and took him in a spaceship and left. That's what happened.
Space.
Also, when you traveled the ley lines, Jessica, who has recently learned that she has a mirror reflection known as Anne that can manifest sometimes, has manifested in the physical world. In trying to get out after Dr. K and Algernon left, you found a couple of doors. And moving through these doors, it was a roll of the dice, quite literally, as you all begin dispersing into different directions, with Anne, Jessica, and Billy all showing up outside of the barn, or rather in the barn, choosing to try to distract or somehow deal with these Black Crown Vics that were showing up, loaded with some kind of scientists, government agents, military people. As one of the best distractions possible, Jessica ran right at the lead vehicle and phased through it. Though she doesn't know this, it is highly likely that Jessica killed 3 of the guards in the process.
Jessica's fucking kill count is going up.
The 4th person that was in the vehicle quickly jumped out of it before it even stopped, and it was none other than Director... Am I still here? Am I back? Oh no. Okay, you can hear me? Ish? Everything went red, now it's back. Whatever. Dr. Ashley Raven. Jessica ran off to the left, or to the west, and disappeared out the east side of the barn. Billy ran southwest, and Rosie appeared in the basement of the 7. Laz, Oak, and Coop all appeared at the Nexus Project laboratories in the room of a woman who turned out to be Persephone, an elegant-looking woman with blonde hair, wearing a white either dress or nightgown or something. She introduced herself, and you all very quickly, Laz grabbed the little's hands, who grabbed Persephone's hands, and you went through the closing door, finding yourself in Laz's bedroom at his grandparents' house as they fell down onto the bed. And we are now picking up with and I think I forgot to say this at the beginning of the session because of the way all of our difficulties. This is episode 23, Deviations. What better title for this episode than a 5-way party split? So I'm going to do this the way we do things in role-playing games. I'm going to roll a d6.
Oh boy.
Oak. You, Coop, and Laz, and the mysterious Persephone have just landed in a bundle on Laz's bed, except Persephone, who landed in a mostly heroic-looking 3-point stance. And that's what you see now, looking very much like Arnold Schwarzenegger appearing in the Terminator through the time portal. Though she is dressed, she's very much crouched down and just starts to slowly stand up and stretch. Oak, what do you say or do?
I think the first thing he does is he's entirely consumed with making sure his friends are okay. He immediately goes and kind of looks around the room, trying to get his bearings. And then when he sees Laz and Coop, he just goes to bear hug both of them. You know, he wants to just oh my God, I can't believe you guys, we made it out. Okay. Ooh. And then after he takes a moment of just embracing them, he immediately turns to Coop. Coopy, I'm gonna need your help, buddy. Okay?
Sure, what can I do?
You and he kind of looks over to the other side of the room and
Oh.
Persephone's standing there. Ma'am, hi. I don't mean to ask too much of you, but I feel like, according to Coop, y'all talk to people, right? Or can?
It is not a problem for me to speak to you if that's what you're asking.
Well, not that. It's just we need to find somebody. And he like looks over at Coop. Templeton.
Tempe.
I don't know where he's at.
Persephone, we lost Tempe.
How did you lose Templeton?
He went into the little room that had the ley lines, and he disappeared first, and then we went into the room with the ley lines, and then we disappeared and appeared at Dr. K's secret lab, but Tempe wasn't there, but Algernon was there, and he was really mean, and he took Dr. K.
You've met Algernon.
Yep. And pardon my language, ma'am. Guy's kind of a bitch.
He was a human man, albeit a squatty, ugly one. But I thought that he was going to be. I thought he was a rat too, like Tempe.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a little rat, not an actual rat bastard. Like, I'm sorry, but
Wow, a lot of swearing.
I'm sorry.
What?
I don't mean to. I just.
Yeah, I thought y'all were all kind of rats. Like, maybe I just assumed that or something. I could have sworn that Templeton said that y'all were all like lab rats, but maybe he meant like metaphorically speaking.
But that's how I think I put you in danger. I guess I wasn't thinking, and I brought up your name because I said that you were more powerful than Algernon was, and then he said he's gonna get ya.
Algernon
Damn it.
Algernon says a lot of things. He is very capable. But I'm more capable. You said that
That's what I said.
you saw Algernon as a man.
Yes.
And you haven't seen Templeton
He was-
since.
No.
And then I can only assume that
No.
I can only assume that Algernon, of course, he didn't tell you the true nature of what was going on.
Well, he stole a spaceship and Dr. K, and they I guess flew off. And he said he'd be back to take what's his.
Oh, okay, that's a lot more than I was expecting. I was talking more about the Templeton Algernon situation. You've spent
Do you think Templeton snuck onto the spaceship too?
I am 100% positive that Templeton is on that spaceship.
Oh.
How do you know that? Did you like talk to him with your brain?
Templeton and Algernon are two halves of the same entity.
Called it.
We called it! Called it! Okay. Sorry.
Rico and I-
There's some
my bad.
things that's not happy to be right about, and that's certainly one of them.
What do you mean, two parts of... I don't understand.
Like Bruce Banner and the Hulk kind of thing?
That is actually a very good way to put it. Algernon is quite intelligent and has unique abilities, as you've no doubt learned. He, for one, can speak, and he has the ability to control electronic devices. It's a little more complex than that. I believe he can control magnetic waves, radio waves, infrared waves, things like that. But Templeton will tell you that's all very over his head. He does it all by feel. Algernon is dangerously intelligent. Algernon is manipulative, cruel, and possesses a unique ability to alter and interfere with your most intense memories. That's how he influences people. He gets inside your brain. He makes you see things from his perspective. Algernon.
Laz goes across the room and starts like trashing like the small little like
Oh, the
place that
enclosure.
he had started building for like Templeton to stay in his room.
Oh man.
Algernon is fully aware of this relationship. Templeton knows that Algernon exists, but does not know that Algernon is him. Templeton believes Algernon to be an entirely separate entity that he communicates with telepathically. Templeton is out there. The Templeton that you know. He is a good soul. But he is, unfortunately, infested with the personality of Algernon.
Is there a way to combine them back? Like the Mystics and the Skeksis?
Oh my god.
I would hope, and I do believe, that there must be some way to do it, but I have not been allowed to see Templeton directly. Most of our communications have always been telepathically.
Oh no! Alger Tempe told me that he killed James. We weren't sure, but now we know. He said he killed him.
Algernon told you that he killed James.
Yeah, he said that killing James gave him a big power bump or something.
Like Highlander.
Algernon has been attempting to wrest some of Templeton's control and seems to be manifesting it in unique ways. One moment, and you see as Persephone, she just kind of stands with her hands slightly out to her sides, and you see her eyes just sort of roll back in her head and her eyelids flutter for a moment. I cannot find James anywhere.
Sorry. Oh,
I must tell you this.
I liked him too.
This makes me sad. If I may, where are we?
I don't know.
It's my room. I don't know how we got here, but just more of that door bullshit. Kind of turns around and looks at the door that they had to have come through. I'm assuming it's like his closet door or something.
You fell from the ceiling.
Oh, didn't? Okay. So yeah, he
You guys
turns
all
around.
fell onto the bed.
Right. He turns around. He's kind of confused that there's not, one of these green doors with a brass handle there, or at least I thought it was the door stuff again.
It was. when you appeared in my cell at the labs, the door you came through materialized in the room moments before you came through. I have neither seen nor heard of that aspect of the ley lines. I know that the ley lines are connected through nexus points. The ley lines themselves serve as points of power or places of power, and anywhere within the boundaries of or where other ley lines intersect have the potential for manifestations of, some would call it paranormal, some would call it psychic enhancements, others would call it magic, but that much I know. And I know that the Nexus Project has, as of a couple years ago, somehow harnessed this, focusing the ley lines and the nexus points through these green doors. But I've never learned where or how or why they began using that form of, well, gate, if you will. Where is your bedroom located?
Like, if you can reach, well, it's in my grandparents' house. It's what is the name of this neighborhood again? He kind of looks at the two younger kids. Shady Oaks.
Isn't it Twilight Grove?
Twilight
Yeah.
Grove. That's the name of it. Yeah.
We came
I
upon
haven't
a
tagged
trivia
that
that
sign yet.
Tamiko didn't know.
So
I blanked.
so
I blanked.
My
I
God.
I think in that moment, I have the map, right? The schematic, the new map,
Yeah.
right? Oh, Oak
Yeah.
Oak has the new map, right? And he goes over to you, Laz, and he puts a hand. He reaches up and puts like a hand on your shoulder, right? You're significantly taller than him, but like he just reaches up and was like, "Hey, man, look, I know you're upset right now, but I need all of you, okay? I need you to be here. You were there for me, and we're gonna get Templeton back, okay? I need you to
Yeah.
be here.
All right. I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine." Now,
All of you notice that Persephone has wandered over to the window and is just sort of peering out the curtain and kind of looking around, and you see her reaching her hands up, and she's just making weird gestures, and at times looks like she's reaching for something. For a moment she puts her fingers to her temples. Each time she kind of shakes her head. No.
ma'am, can I help you?
One moment.
Are you doing
Chad, actually no, I'm not going to have you do it. Laz, roll me a D100, please.
Oh, God.
All right.
I have like a mild PTSD anytime you say roll me a D100. Like
I use
literally-
D100s
like, what?
for
No.
all kinds of stuff in this game.
No,
I know you
don't
do,
want
but
it. I
I'm just
don't
like
want
every
it.
time you say it, I'm like, no.
No.
Hey,
help.
Jeremy, can you roll
What's up?
2 of those?
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Double tap.
We're already in a 5-way split, and Tamiko's like, screw it. Let's just see how much more we can do.
Swing for the fences.
Swing
All right.
for
So the
fences
first
is good.
one was 8%.
Okay, that's an 8. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
The second one, I just won the game. It is 69.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Good. Okay.
Nice. All right,
Gotta
let
be
me
a good
let me
one.
account for
Hopefully
these.
it's a good one.
I like to think.
Laz
It
instantly
should be
dies.
at least mutually beneficial.
So I don't remember what it is. I haven't pulled the chart up yet, but I think that I did specifically address it being
There's
69.
one good one on the
just right in the
in,
middle.
amongst a
So-
sea of like
69. I think I just remembered what it's called too.
Oh, I hate you.
No, that's not it. Okay. I think originally I titled it just Nice. Um, okay, no, this one isn't related to that, but we will resolve this one shortly. I'm going to highlight it. The first one you rolled was an 8, you said.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. As Persephone is trying to do various things, all of a sudden you see her, she kind of puts her hands at her sides, takes a deep breath, and then she just sort of puts both hands reaching forward, and you watch as a ghostly image of herself steps away from her physical body. And she walks, this ghostly image walks across the room. Can you see me?
Yeah, both of you.
Uh-huh.
And you can hear me?
Yeah.
Affirmative. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Excellent. Astral projection.
Astro, who's it? What now?
One moment. What?
One moment, please. Buffering. Buffering.
What is a nearby place that you could tell me about?
Okay, hold on. He pulls out the map, and I remember
Space, maybe?
the barn we know. The barn we know is a ley line. We have we also know that where's the other space that the bookstore, right? Page's bookstore and the craft shop, the hobby shop has a ley line in it.
It doesn't have to be a ley line. She's just asking for any place in town.
Oh, in any place in town. Okay, doesn't have to be a ley
Maniac's
line.
Pizza.
Maniac's
I was gonna
Pizza.
say, the pizza.
Yeah, the pizza
The
parlor.
best place in town.
One moment, and you watch as this ghostly image of her just goes and just dissipates as if it were blown away in a breeze. A moment later, you all smell fresh baked pizza as her image just reassembles and she steps back into her physical body. I would very much like to go to Maniac's Pizza. The smell was so good, and I have not had pizza in so very long.
Awesome. That's
You
awesome.
can like telephone with like your head, right?
Did you hear me?
No.
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 That's what I was afraid of. Maybe that's why I can't hear James. My abilities are... they're not stable. They're not consistent. I never know what abilities I might have at any given time. For the longest time, since I've been in the labs, I've had the telepathic ability.
That's how I called you.
It appears as though I've lost that and gained astral projection.
Hey, well, we talked about like if we got separated, we said that we would meet where at the barn. Is that what you said, Oak?
I mean, yeah, that makes sense, but
So maybe we need to go there and meet everybody else again. That's where they're gonna be waiting.
Oh no.
Oak, roll me a d6, please.
Fuck off for mentioning that, Jeremy. Because that's where Rosie's fucking going, and that's where all the bad shit is. You're a terrible person.
I rolled a
That's
2.
what he said, I'm pretty sure.
I rolled a 2.
Okay.
No, you're correct. You are correct, sir. That is what I mentioned earlier.
I would like you to re-roll that. Re-rolling on a 1, 2, or 6.
re-rolling on a 1, 2, or a 6.
Yeah, we're already in your scene
Okay.
with you,
Yep,
Coop,
nope.
and Laz.
Okay.
We're randomly
I rolled a
determining.
4. I rolled a 4.
That's going to be Rosie.
Okay.
As you all are discussing this, we shift to the basement of Paige's bookstore.
Great.
And Rosie, you have... Where did I put my note card? You have just stepped out of
A summoning circle.
out of the summoning circle into the middle
She's
of
a demon.
this room,
Ah. Okay.
and you
Badass.
see around you... Dang it. The card I have that has their name on it is missing. Where did it go? I do
What,
not
the seven?
remember all their names.
To Christina.
I know Christina and
One of the
Chrissy and
sisters.
Tammy.
Chrissy and
Chrissy.
Tammy and Nikki,
Nikki.
Wow.
but
And then Betty was one of them, right?
A little bit of Monica in my life.
Betty and Jude.
Jessica by my side.
It was Betty and Jude, but I'm talking about the ones that I'm looking for the crew of the
The
Evangeline,
crew of the ship.
the ones that
Who's
are
that?
there. I have them all written
Heinz,
down.
Heinz de Garner, Edward
Yes.
Dubois. Let's see.
Edward was not a member of the Six.
No, it was Shakiti.
Shakiti.
Petey.
Dr. K. We know he's not.
Well,
one of
Dr.
them.
K is not there though.
He's in
right, right.
space.
Yeah.
Just trying to round out the. He was the last one that we didn't know the identity of before. Is that right?
No.
Or was there another?
There
one?
were okay. The three sisters count as one. Shakiti,
Right. Okay.
Heinz,
Betty
It's
Jude.
fine.
Betty, and Jude, and then there were two more. Which you now know Dr. K is number 6. You do not know who number 7 is.
Okay. So
So-
everybody except
so-
Dr. K and
Yeah.
mysterious number 7 is
Yep.
there.
Yep. So it's the three sisters, Betty and Jude, Shakiti, and Heinz are all there. And you notice not only are they all there, but the lights are on. And they all look very surprised to see you.
I would say like Rosie like springs to her feet. Like did she kind of fall too, or did she like rise up through the floor?
You
I
literally-
joked about the summoning circle.
No, you literally, if this were a TV show or a movie, in this scene, the lights would have started flickering, this summoning circle sigil would have lit up, and from the center of the circle, we would have seen Rosie just go rising up out of it in this almost as a looking like a being of
Okay.
light, and then whew, you're there. You become aware. The part you're only aware of is your sudden appearance there.
Oh my god. And like Rosie like looks around and is like, where am I? And like she kind of recognizes these people, but she kind of is very disoriented, obviously, and it's like dawning on her maybe where she is.
You
but she
feel-
is still kind of
You feel a large, heavy, but reassuring, or attempting to be reassuring, hand on your shoulder. At the same time, another hand just takes hold of the bat that you're holding kind of offensively. And you hear the deep voice of Shakiti. It is okay. Calm down. Relax. You are with the 7.
okay. Where's everybody else? What happened?
Who
I
else?
came through a door. Everybody else, all the kids that were with me, my friends, they were with me, and I thought they followed me through. They were supposed to follow me. I thought. Have you guys seen them? Did they beat me here?
Christina comes walking forward towards you. She kind of looks over your shoulder at Shakiti. It is okay. Let her go. She walks forward and she's You see that she's smoking a pipe. You can smell the black cherry tobacco. As she walks forward, she takes the pipe and just hands it to Heinz, who just takes it and like, Rosie, dear, where were you and your friends?
A lab. I don't know where. I don't know exactly. We went with
You were at the lab.
We were at a lab. I don't know.
At the Nexus Labs again.
No. It was different. It was Dr. K's lab, and it's Oak. It was Oak, my friend, who's with us, the little kid with the leg braces. It's him also, but grown up, I think. And to be honest, I kind of zoned out. Once I get too overwhelmed with stuff, I kind of,
Rosie,
yeah.
It's okay.
What?
Calm down. Come over here, dear. Have a seat.
No, I can't. Where is everybody else? I can't.
Where is Dr. K?
Space. That I remember that was like, you know how sometimes in Charlie Brown when the teacher's like want. So for me it was kind of like want space.
Okay. I'm gonna need you.
I need to go. I have
you
to
need
go.
You need to calm down, Rosie. Take a deep breath. I need to know
them.
where the others are.
So do I. That's what I'm saying.
Were they with
I need
you?
to find them. Yes, they were with me, and I went through the went through the door.
Lab, and you were with Dr. K.
Yes.
Were you captured?
Yes, and that motherfucker Algernon was there too, and he said all kinds of mean stuff.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, like, no. Dr. K asked us if we would go, and we said we would because Oak had this stuff growing on him, and I think that was the only way to fix him.
Okay. When did this happen?
Just now. Like, I mean, I think stuff gets all timey-wimey here. It was...
Rosie.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen you or your friends or Dr. K for 3 weeks.
What? Perfect music cue, by the way. My God. My God. Rosie's obviously stunned by this. Like, what? What's the date today? What is it July?
She tells you, it's... As she tells you the date, Heinz coughs from the pipe smoke, so you don't hear an exact date.
Shit.
But you hear it. It confirms that it's 3 weeks since. Yeah.
Oh my God. You're right.
We don't do exact dates in Paradise.
No, I know.
By the way, I'm counting that for bingo.
As a teacher, once July hits, it's all downhill from there. So, like, Rosie is like stunned. Like, do you know where my friends are or not? I'm not panicked or anything, but I know where to go. I know where to meet them. I need to go. I need to go meet them there. We had a place to meet if we got separated.
Okay, that's good.
I need to go.
We have not been able to find or in any way communicate with you or your friends or Dr. K. Dr. K usually checks in with us every few days. And it has been 3 weeks since we've heard from anyone. We were meeting just now to determine what our next steps would be. You say that you have a place.
Yeah.
Where?
The barn. That old barn outside of town, you know?
The Sheckler barn.
I did not know it had a name. We don't name barns where I'm from, but yes, I guess that one, the only barn.
It's not the only barn in Paradise, but I know the one you're talking about. And you all agreed to meet there in case you got separated.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
And I think they'll wait for me. I don't know if they popped out earlier than I did, but if even if it's been 3 weeks, they'll wait. I think they'll wait.
Well, you appearing here now and having a plan in place to meet with them is the best lead we've had in weeks. So Betty stands up and says, well, let's get going. I'll drive you there.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
And Christina looks over at Shakiti, and he just, with a knowing look, nods, and he turns. I will go too.
And as these people are kind of like agreeing and kind of making like literally like carpooling plans, Rosie is just kind of standing there waiting now, knowing that all she has to do is get in a vehicle. And she's kind of thinking to herself now that it came up, like if her friends did pop out of this place the day after it happened and she's been gone for 3 weeks, like would they wait? She has kind of abandonment issues with friends, and she kind of is wondering, like, are these people really like her friends? And she is just kind of like going through that in her head, like convincing herself kind of that these people would wait for her.
Shakiti kind of leads you, or rather follows behind you as you head up the stairs and outside, and you're quite relieved to see that over the 3 weeks the heat wave broke. It's now just normal summer hot. It feels like it's about 85 degrees. Nice. And you walk out following Betty. Jude has come up as well, but he's walking in the back door of Betty and Jude's store to mind the store, as Betty leads you around back to the Jeep Wagoneer with the wood panel siding, and you all pile into the vehicle and start pulling out and driving away. And as the vehicle leaves the alleyway and starts driving towards the northeast of town, Carrie, roll me any die and tell me if it's odd or even. Even will be M, odd will be Ted.
Odd.
Billy.
Is that because Ted is odd?
It literally was the order you appear in the overlay, and I almost said, and Ted is odd, which tracks.
Makes sense.
I knew you wouldn't argue with that.
Not at all.
No. Billy.
No cap, as the kids say.
Billy, not in 1980 something.
No, you're right.
They'd be like bogus.
Bogus, man.
You have kind of run down a little bit of a hill and into the weeds, and you were attempting to get the attention of these vehicles, and they weren't paying attention to you, and you watched as Jessica phased through this vehicle and came out the other side. The lead vehicle, you see it kind of, we're seeing the same scene play out, but from your perspective. So like from like maybe 50 yards away, and you see the vehicle kind of slowly move off to the side. You see the person partially phased through the door, and then you see director Ashley Raven step out to start talking into this walkie-talkie, and you see the two more Crown Vics kind of screech to a halt in the dust kicking up, and you see soldiers and a couple people in suits getting out, and they are all moving in a position to secure. Looks like they're moving in around the barn itself. What are you doing as all this is playing out, Billy?
Right. So if I don't think they've seen me or acknowledged me, I want to like observe and try and see if like, is Jessica getting away?
It looks like it.
Well,
They don't seem to
I'm
be
just gonna-
pursuing the direction she went. And you see the woman with the walkie-talkie is gesturing and motioning to these troops, these soldiers who are moving, guns drawn and moving up toward the barn.
I'm gonna see if I can stalk a little bit closer. Are these like people in suits, or are these like military
Both.
people all tacked out like we saw before?
Both. There's probably about 6 that are in tactical gear, and 4 more that are in suits, plus the director. So 5 suited individuals and 6 tactical. Did you get that?
And what are the? You said the tactical people are all spreading out.
They're moving. They're all moving in to secure the barn.
So when we had discussed, like the idea was like, all right, if we get split up, we should all go to the barn. No one will expect us that, but we're at the frickin' barn, so that's not gonna really be good if our adversaries are right here. Is there anything else around?
Where you are at is fairly remote. You can see off to the southwest, where maybe less than a mile away is Twilight Grove, and then the town. But the rest of this area, this barn itself, is in the northeast part of town and seems to be on the edge, where in every other direction it looks like either woods, fields, or farmland.
Right. Just to help me set the scene a little bit. I don't know exactly how far away I've gotten and how far away they've parked the cars from the barn, and then how much space there is in between.
The vehicles are very close to the barn. We'll say that the vehicles are within 30 feet of the barn entrance. You are probably closer to 100 feet away, down into the weeds a little bit.
All right. Well, I was gonna be crazy, but that's really effing close. So I'm gonna, as much as I really want to do something stupid, I really don't want to make things that much harder on my friends. So I'm gonna stalk out towards the woods, going as slow as I need to, trying to stay as low as I can, and just try and not be observed.
In what direction?
Not. So if I'm sitting there looking at the barn, I'm going to go to the right.
Where are you? Are you trying to go around the barn, or are you trying to get somewhere in particular?
I'm not trying. I'm just trying to have eyes on the barn, and
Okay, I got you. Let me do this.
right,
Just
so
for
on the map, where is the barn in relation?
On the
It's
far
the-
right,
the
where it
big
says
s-
"Stay away."
yeah, the big white circle that says "Stay away" is the barn.
Okay, so I would be moving. I don't see a compass on this map, so I would be moving down. I would be moving.
Yeah, the map.
Down is
towards
south.
the A.
Yeah, the map is oriented so that up is north.
Okay. All right. So then I would be moving south.
Okay.
Nice.
I would like you to roll me a D100.
He's going to Cadillac, Jake. He's on his way.
And yes, Jeremy, I did deduct the 5 for the roll. We were briefly at 47.
We were at 45. Yeah.
86.
86. Billy, as you start moving around and kind of positioning yourself south, where you position yourself, you have a good view of the south side of the barn. You can see where the vehicles are in the entrance, and you can see on the other side where you know Anne went in that direction. But as you move around, you know how sometimes, depending on the time of year and the particular rotational cycle, you can see the moon in broad daylight?
Yes.
As you come around the edge of the barn, you see the almost completely full moon up in the blue sky. And for just a moment, your eyes lock onto that. It's kind of like you see it, you look away, and then you look back at it.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel your pulse quicken. And you can hear your heartbeat loud in your chest, and it's beating faster. And you feel all of your muscles tense up. And your vision, for a moment, it's almost like red at the edges. And then it dissipates. You rolled an 86, which was on the... I was having you roll for how well you were able to resist the pull of the moon.
Okay.
I will most likely not tell you when I have you roll these kind of non-traditional D100 rolls what you're rolling for initially.
Sure.
But I will almost always tell you afterwards what I had you roll for.
Sure.
Almost always. Some things need to stay secret.
100%.
But yeah, you absolutely feel, and there's no question in your mind, you know that you were just almost affected by the moon.
So do I feel like itchy now?
Not really. You just feel that, if anything, you feel that tension, like you were just, like if you were just lifting weights, your muscles feel like they've been exerted in just those few moments.
I'll take a moment to, really think about that and, kind of digest while I'm, trying to ascertain what are they doing? Like, are they looking for us? Like, or are they looking more for whatever is in the barn? Like, trying to investigate from a distance, if you will.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a brains check.
Ooh, that's nice. How about an 18?
Ooh, hell yeah, Billy. Let's
As
go.
you watch, you hear a lot of they move into the barn, and you hear a lot of like just general sounds of things being moved around rather violently. You actually see like a piece of a wooden box kind of go bouncing into the doorway. And then you see Director Raven. She kind of walks out into the doorway and puts her hands on her hips, and then she kind of throws her hair back and kind of just goes, "Damn it. So close."
Damn right. No cigar, bitch.
All right. Everybody, let's go. We'll get a cleanup team here on that vehicle. I want you, and you are going to stay here. Patrol the area, see if anything changes. Keep an eye out for anybody. Once the cleanup team leaves, you leave. She points to another vehicle. We're going back to the lab. You go down the road. You're looking for the anomaly called Jessica. And then she just kind of goes like this in motions for everybody to do their tasks. She gets into a vehicle. The couple vehicles start to, they start up and drive off. And two of the tactical soldiers and one man in a suit are left behind. And they start just kind of walking around the area. As the vehicles take off down the road, you see the plumes of dust. Billy, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Oh.
Turn around quickly.
You see what looks like Jessica.
Oh.
I'm going to have you roll a D100 on this.
Okay. The game, we like rolling dice. How about a 29?
That sounds good.
My thought was you had a 50% chance. On the low end, you would be able to tell the difference. On the high end, you wouldn't. You notice that while this looks like Jessica, something's just off. And you realize it's because the slightly, everybody is just slightly asymmetrical. It's reversed.
Sure.
You notice that she looks different than you are used to seeing her look. And it's like that uncanny difference. Your mind just knows, nope, this isn't Jessica. It's Anne. She looks at you. She's kind of crouched down behind you, and she goes, "Were you planning to do something stupid?"
Well, I do have a bit of a reputation for doing that. I was kind of hoping that, this exact situation would happen, that they would reduce their numbers. Do you know where Jessica is?
I thought you meant you were hoping for this exact situation where it would just be me and you crouched in the weeds behind a barn.
Well.
I imagine that Billy would probably blush at that and look
Aw.
away.
Oh, isn't that cute? She says. Very quietly, she says this, and she just kind of gives you a little playful pat on the back. And she goes, "No, but seriously, what are we gonna do?"
Well, my first thought was, when there were 3 cars, if we would, hamstring one of them, and I'd basically rummage in my pack and I pull out my pocket knife, but they were just too close to the barn, so I came out to the wood line to just kind of observe. I honestly feel I don't know what exactly you can do. I don't know where Jessica is, but I think, a 3-on-3, we certainly can take these guys. I don't know whether we tie them up or put them down or what we would have to do, but
Okay.
I think
I like the way
leaving adversaries behind.
I like the way you're thinking. I definitely like the idea of kicking these guys' ass. And this has got to be Jessica's influence. But why? To what end?
Well, 1, send a message. We're not their playthings.
Okay. I like that.
2, if we rob them of resources, perhaps they'll have second thoughts about, wanting to move against us, and we can enjoy the rest of our summer without having to look over our shoulders every time we turn around.
Well, I know that I can take the two guys that are armed. Yeah. Are you sure you're able to? And she kind of squeezes your arm. She goes, are you sure you're going to be able to handle? And she squeezes your upper arm, and she goes, "Holy shit. Jessica didn't tell me you were ripped.
Yeah, I figured, if we each go after one of the armed ones, the dude in the suit's not going to be a problem.
All right. We're going to wait till nightfall, or you just want to run in there? Or you got a plan?
I was going to see what their pattern is and see if there's any weaknesses to it. Yeah. Actually, kind of, and he just kind of looks up at the moon out of reflex. Stalk them. Where they've spent enough time treating us like their prey. Perhaps it's time to turn it around.
Okay. Then I guess let's just make ourselves comfortable. And she kind of squats down into the weeds. She sits down kind of cross-legged, and she kind of scooches a little bit just so that she's sitting with her shoulder touching yours. What's the point of being a DM of NPCs if you can't use them to flirt with your friends, right?
Obviously. As it should be. It's the natural order of things.
As Jessica, as Anne and Billy settle into to observe, no need to roll the dice since there's only one left. Let's we'll swing away down the road, and we'll kind of go back a little bit in time, just a few minutes or so, to you, Jessica, as you have already you phased through this vehicle, and on the other side you hit the ground and you kind of stumble run for a little bit. In fact, I'm gonna have you make a I'm just gonna have you make a grit check to see if you can keep your feet about you. No, sorry, make that a flight check.
Have my character sheet for one standby. I think I have a D10. Yeah. Oh no, D12. Oh. That is an 8 plus 1 is 9.
Okay. So you are able to come out of this phase. You don't even really stumble. You just suddenly your feet find their position on the ground and you just keep running for a few more steps. At this point, you now have full control. What are you doing now that you've just phased through this vehicle? And
she's running.
You're just going to keep running down the road.
Until she is... until either she's certain that no one is chasing her or that, she's lost them, essentially.
Okay. We'll say you end up running maybe another 100 meters or so, and you see where the road kind of veers, and you see an opportunity to run straight off the road and kind of duck into... there's a little bit of a ditch and then some brush and overgrowth in there that you're able to sort of tuck yourself in there, and breathing heavily, you peek out. You have a view down the road in the direction you came from, and you kind of see pretty much all the activity that I told Billy that he had seen. You don't hear what's being said, but you do see Director Raven come out and kind of motioning and giving directions. Then you see her get into a car and a couple other people get into a car. The car you phased through is still left behind. And I'm going to say because of the way you went, the way it veered off to the side of the road, you can't see that man that's partially phased out the door. All you see is the vehicle just sitting there. And then you see the two cars start coming down the road. The first car goes by fairly quickly. And you can see from the weeds in the passenger seat of this car, you see Director Raven as they go driving by. The second vehicle is moving much slower. And you can see that the windows are down and you can see the barrels of rifles sticking out as
Get shot.
they are looking for you. What are you going to do?
But just to get an idea of, she's in, like, the environment is like a forested area.
I wouldn't call it forested. I'd say lightly wooded. Picture it more like there's the dirt roads. There's some open fields with like tall grasses, and then there's just a few along the road and in a couple different places. There's these like copses of trees. Copses? Is that a right word?
Cops.
Cops. I said the word and it immediately sounded like a word I had made up.
Nope. It's the word.
Okay, so not really good places to hide necessarily.
Yes and no. Depends on how you use your environment. There is a lot of tall grass.
Yeah, I think immediately seeing that car coming slowly, she is going to like flatten herself in the tall grass, like, you know, go to her stomach.
I would like you I think of the best way to do this.
I have a feeling Jake's gonna settle on a sliding D100 scale. Just a hunch.
The vibe. He's never
No.
done
Tell
it
about the
before.
merch.
No.
I don't know that a D100 is actually going to work here. I'm thinking.
Yeah, by the way, while Jake is figuring it out, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of new logos, like the one Jake and Tamiko are wearing tonight, as well as many more for your more fantasy-oriented TTRPGs. Teespring.com, just search Mini Terrain Domain. Wonderful, Tamiko. Thank you.
I'm
Dude, these are
going
cute.
to. I'm gonna say. Let's do flight. This is essentially we're trying to determine how well you are able to hide, and this is gonna be an opposed roll against. There they go. Against the two individuals that are searching, it's going to be against their grit. So, dang it. I just dropped a die on the floor. I think it's a D4. And I'm wearing socks. I don't want to step on it. One moment.
No, don't be afraid to use the pops, buddy.
I'm so good at grit.
You're not rolling grit. You're rolling flight.
Rolling flight,
Oh, thank God. Okay.
which we've established Jessica is fucking astounding at.
Yeah.
Lady.
I have no
Very
idea where
flighty.
this die went, and I don't like that.
Very
You're gonna
appropriate.
find it
we
during
love
the
her.
stream on Saturday.
If I cry out, well, I will look for it after this game for sure. But if I cry out suddenly, I stepped on a D4.
Ooh.
Okay,
You took C4 damage.
so go ahead and roll me your flight check versus.
I rolled an 8.
On what was your flight die?
D12.
Okay. I rolled a
And I
3
just-
and a 1.
Oh, never mind. Disregard.
Jake was rolling a D4. He gave himself away.
No, I rolled D8s. No, the D4 just fell out. I rolled D8s. So you rolled an 8, which means. Oh, it says defender's roll is great. All right. So in this case, because the defender's roll is greater or equal to the attacker's roll, you have full narrative control on how you hide and evade this vehicle as it passes by.
I imagine, so Jessica gets down on her stomach in the tall grass and can see the vehicle like just out like in her vision as this grass or through this grass, and she sees the car kind of slowly rolling by, and she sees some of the men in the car, and she is convinced that one of the men in the car like makes eye contact with her. Like she is convinced, but she quickly realizes that it's one of those like just like looking past, you know, when someone's just like facing you in your direction but not focused on you. So the car continues to move. The guy's face kind of moves past hers, unseeing, and then the car continues to move on. And she's going to wait a bit to make sure they're not gonna double back or anything like that.
Okay. How long is a bit? A few minutes? A half an hour? Longer?
I would say probably like 10, 15 minutes at least.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah. This is Survivor.
Day 10. I'm still laying here. It's in the grass.
I've survived by drinking water from acorn tops.
I ate a chipmunk the other day.
I've already eaten my lipstick.
Okay, we are going to cut back to Oak, Coop, Laz, and Persephone.
Is Persephone still wearing the mental institution outfit?
Good question.
It literally just looks like a nondescript white nightgown or dress.
Okay. Laz, do you have a comic T-shirt or something that Persephone can borrow? So maybe that way she'll, if we take her out, she'll be less conspicuous.
Yeah. I'm sure I do it somewhere. I might have a pair of shoes too. Maybe, I don't know if they'll fit or not, but I mean, you're welcome to try, I guess. He'll start rummaging through his closet, which is, in all reality, mostly dirty laundry. So,
actually, it's
try to
not.
find something that's clean.
Everything in your closet has been cleaned, folded, or hung up.
Grandparents.
Yeah. So Laz is very surprised by that. Here. He'll just grab one kind of, out of his drawer. Maybe we should, he kind of like points to the three of them. Maybe we should like step out for a second.
Yeah. We'll be outside, ma'am. Out in the hall.
Okay. You all step outside, and a few minutes later, she opens up the door, and she is wearing a t-shirt with the Star League symbol on it. Or sorry, with the symbol of the Frontier from The Last Starfighter. And she has found a pair of your probably, I'm gonna say like a pair of sweatpants or something. A little warm for this weather, but there's something with a drawstring that she's able to cinch up, and she's grabbed a pair of your Chucks. They look a little big on her. But she looks very comfortable. I don't know that inconspicuous would be the right word, but maybe that's just to your own eyes. She just looks like a woman, In fact, I would say even more so now that she has on this t-shirt, sweatpants, and tennis shoes. You can kind of see that she looks like she's probably in her late 30s or early 40s.
Oh, yeah, you okay? It looks.
It's this okay.
Good.
This stuff. This is what fit.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you're welcome to borrow it however long you need to. It's fine. Maybe hold on. For where Laz has like his hair kind of long, I think he has a ponytail elastic that he got from someone else, another friend of his or something, like on one of the corner posts of his bed, and he'll just grab that real quick, and you can borrow this too if you need it, just to look a little more, comfortable.
Okay, she pulls her hair out of this. It was sort of tied up itself in this kind of messy bun, and you see her kind of shake it. She does that thing where she kind of bends over, throws her hair forward, and almost like magic just goes, and she's got a ponytail, and her hair just is all
works.
pulled back.
You blend.
I hope so. I'm not sure where we're going.
I guess to the barn.
We
Yeah.
said we were gonna meet at the barn, yeah.
You hear from downstairs, Laz. You hear your grandmother's voice. Lazarus?
So actually, Laz has two grandfathers.
Oh, sorry.
Albert and George.
Your grandfather's voice. You hear Lazarus? Same place.
Zero change. No, it's fine.
Perfect. Absolutely. Yep.
Listen, I'm a 50-year-old man trying to do an old lady or old man's voice. All I have to do is my own voice.
Yeah.
Lazarus, will your friends and you be staying for lunch today?
No, Grandpa George. We gotta go. We've got some people waiting for us.
All right, well, make sure you bring an umbrella. It looks like rain later on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
I've left a bag with some sandwiches on the sideboard.
Aww, dude.
Can we grab the sandwiches, Laz?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm kind of hungry.
Starving.
And then you hear
Yes, Grandpa George.
you hear the sound
is there
of
pizza?
Grandpa George's footsteps as he's walking across what in my mind is like, well, it's the 80s, so it's probably linoleum floor on the hallway that leads back towards the kitchen.
Beautiful hardwood underneath.
Yeah.
Yep.
Under a layer of asbestos, of course.
Of course.
Right.
Fireproof.
So you guys are where wow. Let me try that again.
Internet issues.
I'm just remixing
That's
over
all,
here.
folks.
I'm just over here remixing. What? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Just
Wicka,
blame your
wicka, wicka,
connection.
wicka. Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. Yes. Where are you going is what I was trying to say.
I mean, out the door quickly, and oh shit, I don't know where our bikes and stuff are.
Our
I guess
bikes are nowhere near us.
Are you gonna
They're-
grab
Still at the
the
bookshop.
Are you gonna grab the sandwiches off the sideboard?
So I'm gonna send the other three of them straight to the front door, or the side door, back door, whatever is closest to the.
So as you
I
come
imagine
down the
there's a second
stairs,
story.
as you come
Yeah.
down the stairs, it's one of these where you come down the stairs, there's a railing on the left-hand side, and you're right there at the entryway. And then next to
Perfect.
the stairs is the hallway that goes back towards the kitchen. The living room is off this way.
If I can hear his footsteps, if I've been in this house for any length of time, I probably know exactly where he's at.
Yep.
So I'm gonna wait until his footsteps aren't in view of the front door,
Nice.
and then I'm going to usher them as quickly as I can straight out the front door, and then I will go to the sideboard. And
As you come down the stairs, and it's you followed by the two littles and Persephone, you turn to motion them, and you see your other grandfather about 15 feet away from you in the living room, sitting in his recliner, and the newspaper is up.
Oh my god.
And then
Just
from
have
behind
fun,
the
lad.
newspaper, you just hear, "Going out with your friends again, Lazarus?"
yeah, Grandpa Albert, I'll be back later.
Grandpa George says make sure you bring an umbrella.
Yeah, I heard him. I've got one.
Looks like rain. And
Yeah, the sandwiches. I got it.
there's enough sandwiches in there for you and your friends.
Thanks.
Bro. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Don't stand around on my account. Get out there and enjoy your summer.
Yeah, okay. He grabs the sandwiches and like very quickly ducks out the door.
Go outside, nerd.
Laz, make me a quick D100 roll, please.
Oh no.
This time I am going to roll. I was going to do a D100 roll last time, but because Carrie called me out on it, I changed it.
No. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A little gun shy. I got a 21. Toss.
All right. That is close enough. Laz, as you turn, so the sideboard is sort of along the same wall that the stairs where they come down. And there's a mirror there, and there's a little thing for where Grandpa's Albert and George put their keys when they come in, a little dish. It's a place where the mail, Grandpa Albert brings the mail in, but sets it there for Grandpa George. And as you grab this brown paper bag that has a half a dozen sandwiches in it, and we're not talking like Wonder Bread and a couple pieces of meat. There's weight to this. This is like the good bakery. This is from the local bakery or deli. These are thick cuts of like thick pieces of roast beef, and there's turkey and all kinds of stuff. So as you pick up this brown bag, you see where the mail is there, and you see the morning paper, and you do a double take as you look at that paper and you see the date. It is 3 weeks later than it was just yesterday.
Now, is it weird that there's a paper here and he's also reading a paper? Like,
It's a different kind. So he's reading what would be kind of like the news, like the Detroit Free Press, or over here probably like the Grand Rapids Press or something. The newspaper that's here is more like the what do you call them? Like Parade, it's more like the entertainment and that kind of stuff. It's probably more likely it's like the insert that Grandpa Albert takes out and leaves for Grandpa George.
Okay.
The funny.
Yeah,
that was a good recovery for accidentally putting two newspapers in.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't missing a Jake clue.
No, we're all so traumatized. We're like, what? Why are there two newspapers?
Why are there two newspapers?
There's got to be meaning to this.
Fucker, there's something.
There's two Jessicas. There's two grandpas.
There's a mimic.
Shut up.
So yeah, he'll kind of like grab the sandwiches and turn, and then like kind of come back and lean towards it. Huh. And then he's out the door.
We're just waiting for you outside.
Coop and Oak and Persephone, you walked outside, and I imagine, Laz, as you come outside, you see Coop and Oak just staring. These little 10, 11, and 12-year-olds with their mouths just jaws open as your skateboard and Coop and Oak's bikes are sitting on the sidewalk as if you had just ridden them there the night before that morning.
Delivering our bikes. It's the 7. Gotta be.
That is a majestical being, and I want to know who that is.
Not
Santa.
gonna argue with it.
That's the
This-
secret last member of the 7. It's just Santa Claus.
I mean,
I don't understand how this happened, but good, I guess. Ma'am, you can ride with me. And Coop just kind of gestures at his big old banana seat with a few rips in it.
she goes, well, I appreciate that, but I'll just take this one. And you see that there is a teal and white cruiser bike just sitting off to the side. It looks like something from the 50s, but it looks brand new. And it's just sitting there like expecting her to be there.
Hey, listen, I don't want to add anything more to what's going on here and stuff, but I think some time has passed since we, last were around. I think it's been like 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay then. Wow. Well, a lot can change in 3 weeks. I wonder what happened. What if they're not okay?
I don't know. I think we got to go to the barn first to find out what happened.
They must be worried about us. Maybe they left a note.
We could go to the barn, and then if they're not there, then maybe the bookstore, and we can talk to the 7 and find out what happened.
Okay. We'll take it. We'll take it door to door, right? We'll go door to door. See if we can find them. That's
if we
fine.
have to.
Yeah.
So, are you going to the barn or are you going door to door?
No, we're gonna go to the barn. If that doesn't pan out,
So
or something
I will say, because you guys have the map and you know this.
Yep.
The barn is straight northeast from here over land, where you wouldn't be able to ride bikes, most likely. Or you can choose to go the long way around and follow the roads and go that way. Which would take you right past the Paradise Orchards processing plant.
Or Laz says, as he kind of spies the map sticking out of Oak's backpack, or do we try the other way?
I mean,
Ooh.
you mean like the doors?
Yeah, the ley lines.
What if we lose more time?
That's true.
That's a good point.
We could, but he kind of he takes out the map for a minute and he lays it across the handlebars. Okay, so if we're here now, right? So if we're here now, and there's there, what if we could get to? If we could get to here somehow, not quite near the barn, but somewhere adjacent to where we could get up there, but we'd be away from the processing plant.
Jake, as a matter of scale, this is like a half mile, maybe a quarter mile across this space, right? Between the grandparents and the stay away. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say as the crow flies, it's probably half mile,
Bro, cut through
maybe
the field.
3/4 of a mile.
I think we could do it.
However, some people might
Yeah.
be tired.
Yeah, you can hoof that, okay?
I mean, I could try. Yeah.
Heads up, there's about to be the stream's going to go weird for a moment because I am pulling up the new map because I forgot to add it.
Okay.
But I would like
Alert.
I have to
Ooh,
to
the new
rescale it.
map. Oh, the new map. Here we go. Sorry.
Don't do that.
Sorry, I know. My bad.
Blah blah blah.
Later I'll fix this so it actually lines up with
It's
the other
so
map,
pretty.
but this is the
I geeked out about it. I saw it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
So pretty.
Love it.
I need to print a new map.
so this isn't exact, but
I have so many questions.
What?
Okay, so ideally, though, that would mean that we could potentially. What if we went through a door here? A door in Twilight Grove. If we go through a door here, that links up to. If.
What are you talking about? Doors are just doors.
No, but look.
Usually.
Look.
Usually.
No, but like if we follow the ley lines, right? Okay, we follow these. Any door that we use here in Twilight Grove could potentially take us to the barn, or, and then like starts mapping out like.
But
or here.
All of the grandparents' doors are the green kind. So like anytime we'd go in and out of our grandparents' houses like we just did, we'd end up someplace weird.
Yeah.
I think Koof's got a point. You know, even if we knew how to do it, what if we lose another 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years, even?
Oaks looks to both of you, is gonna say something about something 30 years of but then realizes that would be too snarky for him to say in this moment, and
So he doesn't.
And will immediately retract that, and he nods. Okay, yeah, no, let's go on foot. I think that's smarter.
Yeah, if you get tired, just let me know. You know, I'll carry you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Oh my god, I love them.
All right, so you all are gonna head
Thank you so
on
much.
foot to towards the barn.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you leaving the bikes behind, or are you taking them with?
We might as well walk them just in case we end up needing them.
Okay. So you all start walking your bikes across the way. You have to, before a little ways, you end up cutting between a couple houses and going out into the fields. There's an awkward couple moments where you have to help the younger kids get, especially Oak's three-wheeler, over top of a fence that's got some brush growing up around it, and you begin trekking across there. Jessica, it's been a few minutes, 10-15 minutes. You see the two soldiers and a suited individual. Periodically, the suited man is staying in the shade of the barn, and he keeps giving directions to the two soldiers that are making. They'll come out and they'll walk around until they cross paths and come back, and then he'll have them kind of head out towards the road and looking around. And at one point, one of them is wandering in, kind of looking through the weeds, and Billy Ann kind of grabs hold of you and pulls you down as you see this guy gets pretty close, but he doesn't spot you. Then we cut back to you, Jessica, as you see all this happening. What is your plan?
So knowing that was the place where everyone agreed to meet, it's not the best, knowing that it's now crawling with people. She's gonna try and find Billy. She's gonna army crawl through the grass.
She's on the move.
Very angry that she's getting her favorite pair of white shorts dirty.
So you're gonna low crawl your way through the grass and weeds in the general direction of the barn.
General direction, yeah.
Okay. Billy.
Sir.
Roll me grit. Jessica, roll flight.
Ooh.
That's a 6.
That's a 4.
And I'm going to roll a grit for Anne. Jessica, you are moving pretty quietly through this grass, and it's kind of partly doing the low crawl thing and then realizing how much that sucks, and then getting up on your hands and knees a little bit, maybe a little bit of like crouch running and then dropping down, and at one point realizing just how dirty and stained your white shorts are now.
Is Jessica making her own theme music? That's what I need to know. Is she doing like inward Mission Impossible? Like, that's what I need to know.
Don't think so, because she's not a nerd. M would.
Oh
but
yeah, she's just going
Jessica
this is
would
bullshit.
Jessica's
Sucks, I hate
just
it.
annoyed. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ew. Gross.
I hate
Ew.
this. Ew, ew, oh
Gross.
my god, ew.
Oh my god.
So as you're crawling your way over there, Billy, you and Anne were, the guard kind of moved away a few minutes ago, and you're able to sort of continue sitting there in the weeds. And all of a sudden, Anne grabs your arm, like she kind of turns and kind of grabs your arm, and with her other hand, she just goes, and is pointing off to your left. With her pointing, you can now see a little bit of the weeds go.
Oh no, someone's coming.
Something is moving through the grass slowly, and it's coming right at you.
I want to begin moving in that direction.
As you turn to start kind of keeping low and moving in that direction, you don't see Anne go, rolls her eyes, and then just follows after you. Jessica, something is moving in the weeds towards you from the other direction.
I love it. I love it so much.
Jake's trying to start something.
Jake's trying to start shit.
It's so funny because in a TV show, we might not know that it was the other person coming up. We all know what's happening here.
Let us out! Let us out! Let us in! Let us in!
We're just
They're
going.
Like irony.
Well,
You,
yeah,
have
no,
to,
I think
you have to act like your character.
Yeah,
Even if it leads
No
to these,
metagaming.
comedic moments. Exactly.
especially if it leads to these moments.
yeah, I don't know that Jessica would. Yeah, she's super on edge, so she is like kind of crouched.
Ooh, Jessica, roll me a grit.
Ooh, okay. That's a 2.
As you are on edge for just a moment, you feel where your hands are pressed into the soil, you feel them start to sink a little bit lower.
Oh,
And then you
no.
lift, you're able to kind of stop yourself as you realize in your sort of tenseness, almost like a adrenaline reaction, you almost just phased straight into the ground.
Oh,
That's
no.
not good. Oh my god, it's gonna end up at the core.
I think that like new fear that has just been unlocked in Jessica with the thought of, oh shit, I could phase through anything at any moment if I'm stressed, makes her more stressed, and she is going to, despite herself, she stands up because she's like, all of a sudden she's like touching everywhere on the ground and she can feel it, so she just like stands.
All right, I would like you. I gotta check the die here.
Very suddenly and explosively, so
I would like.
surprisingly
She
as well.
jumps a little bit.
I would
Yeah.
like you I want you to roll grit. Yeah, just roll grit.
Okay. That's a 3.
All right, and then 5. So attacker explains how they attack. The defender narrates what they do. Okay, as you stand up, a blur launches itself out of the weeds at you and tackles you to the ground. Billy, you don't even have a chance to react before Anne just pushes off of you with incredible strength and leaps through the air and tackles something. And suddenly, Jessica, you find yourself entangled with Anne, who is forcing you down onto the ground, has one hand over your mouth and the other one going, What are you doing?
Get off.
Stay
Out.
Stay down. There are men with guns in there.
No. I'm phasing through shit, she says, like, as like a very
You're what?
exasperated. She's like trying to like pat the ground to show it again, and it does, like, I'm just gonna, she can't, so she's like trying to like just like
Jessica,
put her hand,
or
yeah.
Anne takes your hand, and you would, I think in this moment, as she takes your hand, she kind of looks at you, and she kind of actually pushes off of you and jerks her hand back, and you realize this is the first time you and Anne have physically contacted one another. And she seems to be very aware of that, and just kind of pulls back like, sorry, I kind of thought, I don't know if it was like, maybe if we touched, we'd like disappear in the space-time continuum or something. I'm glad that's not true. Okay. Remember what I told you?
Aren't you like supposed to be back in the mirror?
I don't know why I'm still
Isn't that
here.
what the old oak said?
Old oak.
You mean the weird time-traveling scientist that went with the human rat to space?
Yeah, who else would I be talking about?
Right. This makes about as much sense as that. Whatever you think you can do, or you can maybe do, just, you have to control it. You have to, it's like meditating, but not necessarily meditating exactly. You just have to get yourself in that mindset so that you can control it. If you can't control it, that's when bad stuff happens. That's what happened to me in the lab. And you know she's talking about when you came to and there were broken scientists everywhere.
Yeah, Jessica nods. She's like, fine. Have
Hey.
you seen Billy?
So
Yeah,
I always said,
have you
I
seen
didn't want to
Billy?
interrupt.
Hello.
I didn't want to interrupt this cool scene. So, like, after Anne charges past, I would have continued forward. So, I think, Jess would see me at this point in time. But from situation resolved, I go back to let them have their conversation. I go back to observe and report to try and find the weakness in their, in their circling.
So, Jessica, when you say, have you seen Billy? Anne goes, yeah, have you seen Billy? He's like ripped.
Jessica gives Anne just like a very like kind of like a confused like look.
Dude.
Yeah, I guess he's like whatever, muscular, like whatever now, but like it's like whatever.
Oh my gosh, do you like him?
Shut up, she says as she like pushes Anne.
See, whatever's in one sentence means she's crushing hard. That is the marker.
She goes, all right, Billy and I are keeping an eye, and Billy's trying to figure out their patterns, and we're gonna go take them out.
You're gonna. She's like, I was like coming back because the others are going to be coming here.
Why would they be coming here? They just left.
She like, she's like, no, like our friends are gonna be coming to the bar. 'Cause that's where we said to meet.
Oh yeah, Billy said something about that. Why would you all agree to meet in the middle of nowhere? At this barn? Never mind.
It
We
seemed like a
didn't
good idea at
realize
the time.
that we were actually already here.
Shut up! You don't even fucking understand.
Alright, so do you got their pattern down, Billy? Are we gonna do this or what?
It's up to you, Jake. Do I have their pattern down?
It's not quite like playing a video game where they have a prescribed pattern, but I'll say the pattern that you've been able to discern, because you spent so much time watching. The man in the suit is absolutely pulling rank and staying in the shade of the barn, and every time the two soldiers come back, he tells them to go look somewhere else.
So I would be looking for, trying to get the surprise attack. Does one of the guys with guns seem less observant? Do they get to a point when it's like, all right, they're really far away enough that we might be able to get an attack in on one without the other going? I'm looking for any kind of weakness that might be exploitable, and take them down quick.
The biggest thing you notice, probably the first thing I'll say that you notice, is as they come around to the front and they just check in with the suited man, they continue their pattern and they end up walking around to the back. And you notice that every time they walk around to the back, because where you're at, you have a viewpoint of them. When they get to the back, they stop, and you see one of them reach inside his flak jacket and he pulls out a pack of cigarettes and offers one to the other guy, and they light up, and they're just standing there. They've got their rifles sort of hanging, so they're resting on their gear, and they're just sitting there. You can just barely hear that they're talking real low to one another, and they're on a smoke break, which means the two armed guards are at the back of the barn. The suited man is alone on the inside.
All right, so then that would be the time to go.
All right, what's the plan?
If I would observe that, I would say to Anne, we can take him out quick, and once he's down, go after the guards. What do you think?
I just want to make sure I'm understanding what your plan is. I'm going to go take him down, and then I'm going to go take out the guards.
No, I'm going to go after the suit.
You're going after the suit.
And then I'll come around the building once he's done.
And what are you going to do, Jessica?
Jessica is like, she is not 100% sold on this plan, to take on a bunch of different guards, but she's trying to find something to do. So she like looks. I think she is Anne usually takes care of all of this. She's taken care of all of the fighting so far. So I think at this, like, Jessica freezes and she looks to Anne, like, not really knowing.
Oh no.
Anne has that look like she said, "What are you going to do?" and is starting to move, like she's going to get ready to move, and then she stops. And she comes back over to you. I don't understand this any more than you do. I don't know why I'm here in this world with you. But I also don't really want to go back. But that means I can't pop out and just fight your fights for you anymore. You've clearly got something that you can do. I saw you in the lab. I saw your fingers start to go through that table. Think. Focus on it. You can use that. What did you do when you ran through the car?
Jessica pauses. She's like, "What?" She's like, "I just like went for it. Like, just, you know, just didn't really think."
That's it. It's like meditating. You clear your mind. Just don't think. I never think when I'm beating the shit out of people.
Wow. It's dark as hell, man. It's just like, just blank.
She's like nodding.
Do you want to
She
come
not, and then she.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go.
Yeah, no, she like nods more resolutely after that. All right, like, okay, let's do this.
Do you want to come with me or do you want to go with your boyfriend?
She like, you can see like Jessica's like face go like beet red as she's like get going, as she like pushes Anne forward and is going to follow Anne.
All right. As the two groups split up, Billy, because of the way, this is one of the things that we've only done it a couple times. I don't think we've fully explained it before, but the way Kids on Bikes differs from D&D is we're not doing attack rolls. We are going to do one dice roll to determine the narrative outcome of the entire situation. So we are going to roll. You are going to. What is your plan of attack? So tell me that first.
So I was going to try and like approach from an angle that, you know, gives me a little bit of stealth.
You've observed enough that you know that periodically he turns around and he's looking around in the barn. That part, no dice roll needed.
I will take, you know, a bit of inspiration and, you know, look up at the moon and see whether I can draw in whatever energies were trying to happen and run with it.
This time it will be a D100 sliding scale. Let's go ahead and roll your D100.
That is going to be a flat 20, sir.
I rolled a 28.
Wow. Oh. Uh-oh.
Because you... Or no, sorry. I'm dyslexic. I rolled an 82. It's an 8. It's the 8-0 and the 2.
An axe.
Which is... about 60, almost 60 apart.
Yeah.
That puts you in the... over the line, but you're doing it deliberately. So you are kind of achieving what you want. As you look up at the moon, you start to see that red coming in from the edges, and you feel your heartbeat you can hear it, and you hear your heart racing, and hear that do 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 do, and you feel your muscles tense up. But you're able to sort of hold your focus and keep your plan. So, for your attack, for this whole scene, you're going to roll a brawn attack.
All right.
I believe.
Since this is an adult and I'm going against them, would I get my +3 for rebellious?
Yep. You are also rolling 2 dice higher than your normal for brawn, I believe.
Correct. All right. So my D8 goes to a D12, and then I add 4 to it.
Yep. And then I'm going to be rolling hold on 1 second. Sorry. I did that thing where I said something, stopped myself from saying it out loud, and then had an entire interaction with Jeremy in my head. All because what I said was...
What the fuck did I do?
It's your fault.
The reason I'm having trouble finding this is the pages are sticking together.
Ew.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
I want to get T-shirts made that just say "ew" on it. That would be the best.
Sorry, I am trying to find.
Just
I thought I had
Paradise
this.
colors. Yeah. Just all the
Yeah.
friggin'
Yes.
Ew.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 Jessicas on either side.
Just with that beautiful like 70s like orange, brown, and beige stripes.
Okay, so. Sorry,
While
you would
Jake
be
is
rolling
figuring that
you
out.
would be rolling your fight check. My guy would be rolling the brawn check. That's what I want.
Oh, okay. All right. So I do fight, so that goes to this one instead.
And then let me go back to my results page.
While they're figuring out their roles, I insist that if you want blood, you've got it is on this scene by AC/DC. If this were a Netflix special. that would be-
Hey, I'm glad you changed the die because I just exploded.
Okay.
Oh!
Hell
Oh!
yeah.
What a badass.
Here we go.
Go out there and fight their
I'm
face.
looking for my stat block, and I was holding it that page back in my right hand. All right, so I'm gonna roll my brawn. My D. There we go. Okay. So, for your side of the fight, Billy, what did you roll on your fight check?
22.
I rolled a 4. Keep in mind, because you have full narrative control of this, keep in mind you are harnessing for the first time an aspect of the cryptid. What happens? How do you take out this guy, and how far do you take him out? If you catch my drift. Are we
Sure.
talking non-lethal knockout, or is this brutal?
So the plan was to go for a non-lethal knockout, but given the fact that this is a first surge of willingly taking in more than he has before, because all right, yeah, I've had the advanced stats and what have you, but here is nope, I want even more. So kind of almost football tackling or football style, he just charges in, and the guy happens to turn, is turned away, and when I hit with such a force. I mean, he rolled equal to what my bonus was, let alone the 10 and the 8 that I rolled. So I hit him with enough force that I break his spine on just contact. But the ferocity doesn't end there. I imagine that there's a bit of pummeling. I don't think I've gone through any full-on transformation. I don't think I've got claws or fangs, unless
Not
you
yet.
say I do. But there's an ungodly, hand, fist into flesh, pounding motion, and he is no more.
Oh my god.
We cut to the exterior of the barn around back as there's this attack hasn't quite happened simultaneously. Jessica, what are you and Anne gonna do?
So how many
2.
are there around? 2?
2, they are not at the ready. They are partially ready, like they're fully armed. Their rifles are at their sides, kind of in grasp, but they're casually standing there with their arms sort of resting on top of their like ammo pouches and stuff, and they're smoking cigarettes, so they are unawares. And
Don't smoke, kids. It could get you murdered by teenagers.
Yeah.
Anne looks at you, Jessica, and just says, I'm gonna go for the one that's further away, because I know I can get to him. You can take the closer
Jessica nods.
one, and when I'm done, if you still need help, I'll finish up.
Oh my god. Hell yeah.
Yep. Jessica nods, and Anne starts to run. Jessica immediately regrets this, and she's like running as they like are kind of I imagine them just like kind of crouch running towards these guards. And yeah, Jessica's like, oh my god, this is nuts. Like, as she's like
you are going to like you said, you're crouch running, and you actually see Anne start to pull a little bit ahead. So I'm going to roll each of them separately. I need to actually roll Anne's fight check, which is a D20.
her fight is a D20.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
What a stud.
Anne rolls a 17. And because she's versus an adult, that is a +3, so that's a dirty 20. A dirty modifiers bringing you to max does not explode. You have to actually roll the number on your die for an explosion. So she's at a what did I do with the other D12? There's so many dice here, and I think it somehow, oh, there it is. The one she's versing rolled a 10 on a D12. So go ahead and roll your fight check, Jessica.
That's a 7. I'm going to use some domain things to
We've
bump
got
that up.
42 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you're using how many?
3, 2, 3, 3.
Let's do
You got 42.
5.
5?
Bump it up to a
Hell yeah!
12.
Why the fuck not?
Bumping
I'm
up
proud
to a
of you.
12. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and knock this down. All right, so you have rolled a total of 10. I am now going to roll this guy's. He gets a 6. Now, both of these guys have a feature or a strength called tough. That means if they lose a combat roll, they get to add 3 to the negative number. So the first guy who lost by 10 now only loses by 7. This guy who lost by 4 now only loses by 1. However, Oh wait, no, that does change it because you guys are the attackers.
Wouldn't he lose by 6? Because I went to a 12.
Oh, you went to a 12?
Yeah.
So yeah, he was. Sorry, I was thinking you were at a 10. That's right, you went to 6. So yeah, he's at a 9. So it's still he's by 3. So you are going to explain how you do your attack. And I will add a little bit in there, if I can. And then for Anne, okay. Basically, the narrative control goes to each of you, but I get a chance to, they get a little bit of a response. So for Anne, you see Anne go kind of charging ahead of you as you're moving towards your guy. She's moving around this way. The 2 guards turn and they immediately just throw the cigarettes off to the side and they start reaching for their rifles. And the guy behind the one in front of you, as he's swinging his rifle, you see Anne coming in low, just shoves up with the palm of her hand so hard that the rifle spins around completely. You hear his fingers and wrists snap as it spins around, and the butt of the rifle cracks on top of his head, and it's almost a blur watching her move as she's just takes this rifle and doesn't even bother trying to shoot with it. She just starts spinning it around and is hitting him with every part of the rifle she can. He does manage to get in a couple of blocks. He's a trained soldier, but he's got a broken hand now. He's bleeding from his forehead, and she just keeps pummeling until you see, with a scream, she leaps up, kind of plants her feet on his chest, shoving him to the ground. And before he's even hit the ground, she's got the butt of the rifle and just goes, "Poosh!"
Oh my god.
And then she kind of goes like this and throws her hair back as she looks to see what you're doing.
How's it going, Justin?
That's perfect because Jessica, again, it's a win, but well, so I imagine that she tries to do the same thing. Like she kind of sees what Anne does in like at least the gun part of like just smacking it up. She's like, okay, all right, and she's like hyping herself up and she runs up, but she tries to swipe up. Her hand goes completely through the gun, as she like looking at the gun for a second and looks at the guy as he's like continuing to lift it. And she just takes the palm of her hand and just hits him in the face, like heel to nose, as hard as she can. Because she saw that in like like one of those like old defense videos at one time that her mom watched or had her watch or something like that. Like this old, like self-defense thing, and she just like does that.
Nose, groin, instep.
Roll me your grit.
Instep,
roll your
nose,
grit die.
groin. Dude, yes. Solar plexus, instep, nose, groin.
1. That's a 1.
Okay. I'm going to add into this that in that just a couple little pieces that as you rush up to him and you go to flip the rifle up, you see him sort of brace and then your hand just goes and you see the look of astonishment on his face. And then he kind of gets control of himself and he swings the rifle and tries to butt stock hit you, and it passes right through you.
Oh, nice.
And he takes a couple more quick jabs trying to hit you, and you're just... And that's when you come in all of a sudden and you just, with all your might, and you hit him. And from a cinematic point of view, we see the guard, as you hit him in the head and his eyes roll back in his head, he falls back, and that's the reveal of Anne standing there over top of the guy that she just took out. And she looks at you and she goes, "Nice."
I imagine that there's like a moment, like he can't hit her, and like there's a moment where they just both stand there, like looking at each other for like a couple seconds of like silence of like, huh.
And then you
And then
hear
she's like,
you hear the definite sounds of what sounds like a brief struggle inside the barn, followed by sounds of a vehicle coming up the road. Laz, Coop, and Oak, and Persephone, you come up through the grass and over the hill just in time to catch the last couple moves. In fact, I'm going to say you don't even see the soldier phasing through Jessica. All you see is Jessica just go boom and knock a guard out.
Oh my
And then you
God.
see her and Jessica, or her and Anne, just standing there for a moment. And then looking over, you see the Jeep Wagoneer that belongs to Betty and Jude, that you had all ridden in previously, or some of you did, is coming up the road towards the barn. Because we're already over, I'm going to just kind of pull this in that Jessica and Anne, you come running around the side as the Laz, Coop, and Oak, you come up with Persephone, and you see the girls come around, and you see Billy standing up and sort of coming out. And Billy is your fists up to your forearms is splattered in blood, and you've got blood splattered across your face. You left this guard in a broken pulp. As Rosie, you, Shakiti, and Betty come rolling up on the scene, and it's just this scene. I just picture this sort of drone shot of the camera rising up as the car comes up, and Shakiti's just looking around, and everybody's sort of looking at either Jessica and Anne, having seen Jessica just knock somebody out, and Betty and Shakiti in particular, and maybe even Rosie, are just staring at the heavily breathing Billy standing in the open doorway with blood splattered across his face and his fists literally dripping with blood. And that's where we're going to end this session.
Oh my God. Oh.
I was not positive that I could get you all back together in this session, but you all kind of did it yourselves. I appreciate,
Jeremy
especially
is the MVP on that one.
especially Carrie. I appreciate you kind of stepping into the backstage for large chunks of time while we
We all
focused
have
on
our
other
spotlight
characters.
Hey, I have a question though, Jake.
Yeah.
Enjoy watching you
Did
guys.
we ever resolve Jeremy's dice roll, or are we doing that next week?
Oh, no, that's a great question. So, I'll add this as a post, because I have it, but my book's covering it.
Ooh, post-credit
Right
scene?
here. Post-credit scene, as everybody's kind of standing around staring, and you're all by this open, the opening of the barn door.
Oh my God.
We see Laz just standing there as well. And Laz, you hear boom, 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 and something just nudges against your foot. Looking down,
Looks down.
you see, whoops, I highlighted the wrong one. Wait. Oh yeah, I definitely highlighted the wrong one. You see a red rubber ball with a yellow star and a blue stripe that has just rolled up next to your foot. And I will tell you only that the title of this roll is The Changeling.
Yeah, he kind of looks around to see where the hell this ball must have come from. And then he just bends down and picks it up and looks at it. Huh.
And I would also imagine this is the part where whatever in our theme music has been established as that Back to the Future note when it's kind of whenever they reference time travel, it's like that. Whatever we've established is our music cue for weird stuff. That little music cue goes.
Nice.
And that's where we'll end with our little post-credit scene. Thank you to Miko for reminding me.
Wonderful. This is badass, guys. Amazing work.
Now this was a fun session. We're starting to get this was session 23, and we're definitely getting into the part of the game where for a game that doesn't have leveling, you're getting the equivalent of leveling, which is you're gaining access to new things. One of the features of Kids on Bikes is something called powered characters. Think 11 from Stranger Things, or E.T. even in E.T. From the very beginning, I knew that we weren't going to have powered characters in the traditional sense, because I knew that some or all of you would be becoming the powered characters. So just remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh boy.
All right. Before we get out of here, I want to do a quick reminder for everybody that's sticking around. And if you're watching this on VOD, this will have already happened, but you will be able to see the VOD of this on Saturday, September 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Woo-hoo!
Please tune in to twitch.tv/mini-terrain domain for Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleanor, The Light of the Child, a Dungeons and Dragons charity live stream event featuring Dungeon Master Todd Stashwick and celebrity guest players Matthew Lillard, Mika Burton, Tawny Newsom, and Jack Quaid, and two generous auction winners who have donated a combined $8,250, Chuck Lazaro and Michael Steinbach. For 3 hours, we will be hosting this D&D game where there will be giveaways, there will be prize incentives. You'll even be able to donate critical hits and advantage and disadvantage and critical fails in the traditional way that we do these kind of RP games. So please tune in for all of that. Many of us will be in the chat for that. This is a pretty big deal. I mean, we got Huey from The Boys. We've got Captain Liam Shaw from Picard. We've got Mika Burton from Critical Role and Star Trek Picard, who also just
Shaggy
happens
from
to be...
Scooby-Doo.
Mika just happens to be
Sorry.
LeVar Burton's daughter. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Or also from Scream, Hackers, SLC Punk.
Scream.
Tawny Newsom and Huey. Tawny Newsom and Jack Quaid were both voices in the Lower Decks and did a live action appearance on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So star-studded cast, super excited to be hosting, and I do want to shout out that I'm not doing this alone. We're working with the amazing Lauren Orfiero from Pavlov Foundation, and Dwight, the big bearded nerd, is our project manager, is associate producer, and managing things behind the scenes. And we are going to have several people, I don't know all of whom, but I know Tamiko is one of them, who will be in the chat as moderators, keeping an eye on things and cheerleading. So I want to just point the spotlight on those people. So hope to see you there. Thank you to everybody who supported the channel with subs, gift subs, bits, all that good stuff. Thank you to everybody hanging out with us. If you're watching silently in the chat, we appreciate you as well. And of course, I have to say a huge thank you, as always, to these amazing players, these wonderful group of humans that I'm honored to call my friends and that I get to play make-believe with every week in this weird little corner, fictitious corner of Michigan. Thank you, Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and Em, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Where you going?
Murder guy.